All right, everybody, welcome back. Today is Sunday, September 22nd. It is roughly 8:18 p.m. on the East Coast. So I know we said at 8:15, but we had a couple of technical difficulties, so we're here now. Um,
Introduce
today's top.
introduce
Well,
yourself.
oh, okay. I'm Hamet Neferet, and
My name is Moose, and we are the
all right.
Gambling Elephant.
Okay, so I apologize. I just came in from work and I had to jump in the shower really quick. And so I'm a little um, disheveled right now. But as time goes on, we'll get it together. Um, so please like, subscribe, and share. This is a way we're going to grow the channel and get some topics that you guys want to hear about. Any opening remarks, Moose?
Now, I just want to say good evening, everybody out there on the West Coast. Good evening, everybody out here on the East Coast. And so it's prime time. I mean, I know everybody didn't got watch their team win or lose. People back from service or eating Sunday dinner or whatever, come and join us. Come and join us, listen to us discuss our topics. And tonight, we will be discussing careers, my career, her career, and so as she said, hit the like button, man. Help the channel grow.
Yeah, and it's not just careers. It's about our hopes, dreams, jobs, because we had plenty of jobs, but then we had career choices. So I'm gonna let Moose open that up, and I'll piggyback off of him. I'm gonna take a sip of my spritzer. I got a cranberry juice with some seltzer water, and I just needed a refreshing drink. So you go ahead, open up.
All right. Well, let's see. We come from working people. You know, so working is definitely in my blood. Was in my blood. Still in my blood. And I actually never. I wanted to play sports. That's what I wanted my job to be. You know, Unfortunately, due to my own selfish ways, I wasn't able to fulfill that dream. But thank God that later on in life I did find a career.
Mm,
And I always told Travis that our father gave us something, a talent that we are good at, and that's operating heavy machinery.
yeah.
And so I excuse me, I end up working in the same field, having a career in the same field that my father had. You
Yeah.
know,
One
and
one of his career, one of his jobs, I should say.
well, yeah, well, it was about I mean, ever since I knew my father, what he did was transportation. You
Yep.
know, and I don't know nothing else about whatever else he did. I mean, so and when I took on the task, it became like very lucrative. With him when he started, it was I guess it was lucrative, but they they had more love and compassion for for the skill,
Yeah.
and back then, like they didn't have GPSs and things like that. What
Mm-hmm.
they had was a map. I mean, I remember as a child, we used to love to play with his maps. You know,
Mm-hmm.
his maps, his truck keys, and we got in a lot of trouble messing with them truck keys, man,
Yeah.
because we couldn't find them when it was time for him to go to work.
Right.
And I hope Greg get to see this because this is a memory of our cousin Greg,
Mm-hmm.
and Janie,
Right.
and cousin Janie. And I remember when he was we couldn't find his keys. I believe we was living on Randolph,
Yes, we were.
and and we couldn't find his keys, man. And everybody scrambling, and Janie decided that, that she wasn't gonna look for no keys. But but I mean, those are just fond memories of growing up, and I didn't know 40 years later or however long it was, that I was going to be the one that actually end up retiring from what one of our parents did.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so let's go to the other side with our mother. I remember her telling us how she used to clean houses in the oranges and, for well-to-do families. And I've known her to work in laundries. When we lived on Jersey Avenue, I mean, I was little, like 3, 4 years old, but I remember, us always at that laundromat, and her and Auntie Jeanette and all of them used to just be in there washing and folding clothes. And eventually, when she needed to go back to work, I should say, when she was forced back to work, this was in the late 70s, like 79, 81, 82, somewhere around there. And she got hired at Bayonne Quality Laundry. And they paid for her to go to school to learn how to be a dry cleaner, dealing with all the chemicals, perk and all of that. And you don't know how people helped out. um oh, thank you, Bridget. My mom loved y'all too, like for real, she really did. Thank you so much for that. um but she Marianne and Carl was their names. Walker, they were German. And they had Bayonne Quality Laundry in Bayonne. And lo and behold, they wound up hiring almost all her kids. That was my very first job, and it was not part-time. I only worked full-time all my life. um I don't know if you and Selena, but
No,
I believe Randy worked there.
no. I mean, I can only speak for myself, and I'm pretty sure if I didn't, Selena didn't. And
Yeah, she did. But I believe it was me, Ernie, uh Travis, and I think Randy was there. I'm not 100% certain, but I know it was the first three. And that's how we took care of bills. That's how we helped pay rent and lights, and paid for school clothes, and Easter, Christmas. Y'all remember y'all lease suits, you and Randy, and y'all
yeah, yeah,
Adidas.
yeah. Well, actually, I kind of believe that's kind of what's missing in today's um upbringing. I should say is most kids that I know, I mean most people that have children, 15, 16, 17, like they don't have jobs.
Right.
Every when we was growing up, I mean, like we had summer jobs, I mean, you did something. We shoveled snow. I remember as a kid going to A&P, bagging
Two
groceries,
guys.
yeah, Pathmark, Shop Right, A&P, Food Town. Like we used to, and I remember I must have been about 7, 8 years old, man, and Ernie had us out there shoveling snow. And I mean he only gave me a quarter, but I learned how to earn though. I
Right.
learned to earn. And and that's kind of what we're missing in today's society.
Yeah.
I believe is that you know we have become a society of laziness. Every
Ye-
yeah.
No, no, you're right. You're right because like seriously, I don't know what it's like not to work. Um I all I've ever since I was 16, I've had full-time jobs. I've never worked a part-time job. I have never collect unemployment. I have never I only had 1 year where I did not uh have a earnings for Social Security. And that was when I was pregnant with William, and I had a lot of medical complications with the pregnancy, so I couldn't work. I tried, but I mean, it was so severe, I just couldn't work. And yeah, like, but I want to just say this: my dream was to be a scientist. I wanted to fix all the wrongs through illnesses that was going on. Because remember, going back to our health series, all I remember hearing about was cancer, the big C, growing up. And all our family on our mother's side that I knew of was transitioning from cancer. Like, um, I remember Uncle Bill, this statuous man coming every morning. Mama used to perk coffee for him, and then he wasn't no more. He was sick. Auntie Jeanette, I used to go to her house, sick. Our mother, she had, I believe it was uterine cancer after Selena, and she used to say that having Selena actually helped save her life because it slowed down that cancer in her uterus. Our brother died from cancer. Our mother had colon cancer. So many people had cancer, and I wanted to travel the world and be this great explorer and find cures for sickness. So that was my dream. But of course, life had a different uh, path for me. So I worked in the laundry. That was a lot, the majority. And then I will never forget, when we was in Michigan, I worked at what was it, Roy Rogers?
I don't know. I can't
I think
remember.
I know I was flipping burgers. I know that, or making sandwiches. I was doing something. Um and then I'm trying to think. Wow. We
Well,
came back to New Jersey. Oh, I was doing customer service, selling maintenance agreements for Sears in Michigan. Woo, that was a mess. And then we came back to New Jersey. I went back trying to work at a cleaners. And they wanted to pay you by piece. Now, let me explain something to you. You might, like, back then, this was in the 90s, because I was pregnant with Julian when we moved back to Jersey. And this was 92. These people down in Newport, because I didn't know that they made Newport. We was in Louisiana and in Michigan. So when I came back, I was like, "Ooh, look at this metropolis downtown." And this laundry, this cleaners, I think it was Newport Cleaners or something. These people wanted to pay me by the piece. So I'm pressing, I'm doing my thing. Oh, not good enough, not good enough. I'm like, what? I learned from Carl and Marianne and my mother, like, you got to be kidding me. They just didn't want to pay me. So, long story short, I think these people was trying to pay me like 50 cents a piece, uh, a dollar for a suit. I'm like, what? So I said, I'm not doing this, you know. And I took a break, and our cousin Ellen, she was working at the medical center. And she said, cuz, don't worry about it. By that time I had Julian. And she talked to her boss. I think her boss name was Marianne, if I'm not, was it Marianne? I'm not sure. I don't remember her name, but I was able to get into medical billing at the medical center, and I was good at it. No training. My cousin, she helped teach me. Our cousin, she helped teach me, and I learned pretty much on the job. And then Jersey City Police started calling, and I saw that ad. We looking for you. But this is before I got the job. I mean, before I got the job at the medical center, I was pregnant with Julian when I applied for the police department. And when they finally called, I was working at the medical center. And that was my career choice, my career path, because I was so proud of myself. I know that they was doing a statewide push hiring. This is a time when they was hiring a lot of veterans, and people was just coming back from Desert Storm, and it was just a lot of veterans needed work. And they did the testing throughout the state, and I ranked 217 out of all those people. I was so proud of me. And I was working at the hospital, medical billing, and two West District detectives showed up at Mama's house at 166 Harrison and said, that was a Friday. I'll never forget it. Congratulations, your daughter has just been accepted into the Jersey City Police Academy. That lady was so, oh my God, she was thanking God. She was praising. She was hallelujah. She was just so overcome with joy. And from that moment on, the only thing I wanted to do was make her proud, because she had been through so much, you know?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I remember all that. My journey when it came to employment was, I was, you know, I'll say this first, right? If you don't make wise career choices in life as a youngster, life has a way of dictating how you're going to live in the future. And thank God that all wasn't lost for me.
Mm,
But because of my own choices, I choose to do what I did, growing up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I always worked, but being that I was young, I thought that I had all the time in the world to fix, to get my life together. And so I went through the rigorous of life, odd jobs here and out, where I worked at ShopRite, I worked at Taco Bell, I loaded trucks, I cut grass, I did, but I always had a job, you
mm,
know, but it wasn't until 2000 is when I said to myself, you got to make a decision. you know, and I always revert my life back to the Shawshank Redemption when Morgan Freeman said, "You either get busy living or you get busy dying," you know,
Mm.
and I live by that. And I choose October 14th of 2000. I choose to make a decision in my life that I want to live. Not only do I want to live, I want to live a productive life. So I stopped all the shenanigans. I stopped hanging around certain people, started making um, wise career choices, and I ended up, um, going to a place, working there. I was there. Matter of fact, that place is so dear to me, you know, because it was the place that I experienced how to become a man, you know, and I remember I was working at this place, and I was walking back up the ramp. It was approximately 3:45. I will never forget it. Approximately between 3:45 and 4 o'clock, and I got that phone call that, and you was on the other line, and Mama had passed away. You know, I will never forget it. You know, and that's why that place is so dear to me. You know, the Doe Fund. You know, and I I I I became a supervisor there. I became a senior supervisor there. Um, you know, I met a lot of outstanding people. You know, I met men and women that did a lot of time in prison, you know, and they showed me how to like how to deal with people,
Mm.
right? And I took a test, not just one test. Yo, I took many tests. I took correction officer tests. Um I took sanitation tests. I took the New York City Transit test, right? Believe it or not, the first one to call me was corrections, right? The New York State corrections, right? And I passed. I passed the exam and everything, right? Um, I made it all the way to the site. Right? I made it all the way to the site, and because I was I was on my grind. You know, I wanted better for myself, and I went to the state building, and and he's sitting there. You know, he asked me all these questions, and I didn't lie. You know, because I figured that they're gonna find out. So I didn't lie, you know, because he asked me, "Do I know anybody locked?" Of course, I know people that's locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, I
Hmm.
didn't lie, you know. Of course, you know. I mean, but you know, anyway, they didn't accept me because for whatever reason, but I kind of understand the reason, but they didn't accept me. So I went
Hmm.
back to where I was working at, and then uh, transit called me, and I stayed there for 14 years, man. And I was listen, when I tell you I was ecstatic, I was confident, I was happy. I drove that bus with pride, And to some people, listen, let me tell you something. I'm not afraid to let people know who I am, right? Yeah, I'm a blue collar person. You know, I don't have all these degrees and things like that, but I'm telling you, right? If you find something that you enjoy doing, it can bring you just much joy as anything. You know, I
Right.
mean, yeah, I mean, because check it out, right? When it's all said and done, right? I got something out the deal.
Exactly.
I got something out the deal, right? I love being a blue collar worker, and I kind of find out that That's what this country is missing. That's what
Right.
this. Listen, I'm gonna say this, and then I'll let you speak. See, I'm old enough to understand when America was blue collar,
Right.
when it was predominantly blue collar.
It's a whole class missing.
Yeah, like I mean, when when you had the blue collar workers, the auto industry, right, the truck drivers, you know, now everybody want to put on a suit and tie
Mm-hmm.
and sit in the office, but the country is suffering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people could you look, you could have a blind eye if you want, you know, and it don't matter who's the president. The country is suffering.
But let me just jump in here, right? Because you touched on something that was very important, the blue collar worker. Now, we grew up in Jersey City. We remember, hey, Jenna, I miss you too, and I love you too. We remember when Clorox was down there. You had Colgate. These are well known, like internationally known name brands. Mullers. You
I was
had
getting ready, I
all,
was just getting ready to say Mullers.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
you
getting
had
ready to say
all these
that.
companies right in Jersey City, right around Jersey City. A lot of people who were homeowners, we didn't know they were homeowners because again, we didn't indulge in people in adult business, right? But they had built their homes, their family, the community off of these blue collar jobs. And now the whole waterfront in Jersey City is high end apartments, outpriced businesses. Like, I mean, there's no way I could go down there and buy anything. You can't afford to rent office space down there. It's too expensive. Um, and everybody is not from Jersey City anymore. It's like where did everybody go? Because you cannot afford to live there anymore because the blue collar class has been depleted. And law enforcement, bus drivers, mass transportation, factory workers, these were all blue collar jobs. A lot of people frowned on law enforcement. Um, a lot of people frowned on bus drivers. Ralph Cramden, the prime example. like, it is, but like you said, these are things that made a difference in our lives because that's what we knew. Like, I wanted to, I remember when executive secretaries was the thing. And I wanted to be an executive secretary so bad, but it just wasn't meant for me to be because I am a leader. Number one, number two, I know how to connect with people, and I did that through my law enforcement career. I was able to have empathy and sympathy. Sometimes it wasn't good because I got played. But I had a lot of joy out of it. Like, um, one of my dear colleagues, Bridget, she was there. She was there when I needed somebody to talk to. I needed a friend. And also, she was there to check me, to discipline me, to let me know, hey, I think you need to stop. I think you need to, understand what really, maybe you need to take some time. Jessica, and her daughter, Jenna, like, I met them through law enforcement and community relations. And this lady trusted me to take her kids on a camping trip. And it was a malfunction, a mishap, where she actually helped pay for a bus for us to go. And we developed this great friendship from that, so my career, it was fulfilling. It had a lot of ups, and it had its moments where I had some down periods. But it taught, the positive from law enforcement was this. One of the positives was this. It taught me not to be afraid to face life. Because remember, like me and we've been having some really deep conversations. And one of the things we're going to talk about later, I'm not even going to mention it because I want it to be pure when we talk about it, is I became afraid to live because of how I was raised into certain indoctrination. And I was afraid of my own shadow. But a lot of people, when I entered the police academy, they was like, oh my God, Regina? Oh, wow, like her? She's scary. How is she going to do this? But when you're a mother and you got 4 babies to feed, and you going through trying to save your marriage, and somebody got to work. Somebody got to have, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody got to come up with a plan. One party had to be stronger. And I'll never forget when I started the police academy, they came to the house that Friday, the 10th of February. Julian turned 2 that Sunday, February 12th. And I entered the police academy February 13th. I timed my retirement by my last child, my baby, because it was 25 years almost to the day that I retired. And I'm just grateful for having that opportunity and learning about life, because I learned a lot about life through being in law enforcement.
Yeah, my journey working, see, I I understand that law enforcement get a lot of praise, right? And rightfully so. But there's so many more occupations that's involved in certain things that never get mentioned.
Yeah.
So, see, because that like 9/11, right? And you can it's in the archives. I was there, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I was down there working side by side with the firemen, with the police, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, I'm loading water and supplies, right? Because the destruction, they couldn't they couldn't like take it straight there. They had to put it on a boat and bring it around
Right.
so they can get it, you know. And I'm telling, I mean, you know, and it's sad. I'm just going to be so honest, right? It's sad to see certain things that happen in this country, right? Because I'm talking about, it's not something somebody told me because I was down there breathing in all that toxic stuff that everybody else is breathing in, right? And I saw unity. I really did.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I saw unity, right? It didn't matter what color you were. It didn't matter what was your sexual preference. I saw people come together and try to rectify what they could because of this mass situation that was going on. And I was down there, yo. It is that's one of the things that I can honestly say, like, I participated, you know. And I mean, standing, I'm looking at the pal, I'm looking at see, it wasn't just firemen and police. You had
Yeah.
iron workers. You had
You had
iron workers
bus
down there.
drivers. You had
Yeah, you
paramedics. you had teachers, you had
Yeah,
people from working in the factories, like everybody came and
listen,
participated.
listen, let me tell you, one of my coworkers, right? This when I was working for the Doe Fund, one of my coworkers, he got he got cancer from it, right? And they just gave him a lawsuit, right? My name is in the archives just in case if I get sick like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what I was just trying to say is that, cause we talking about, working and careers and things like that, right? And like I just stated, is law enforcement and firemen and paramedics, like, whatever, like they should get they just do, but it's so many more people that help. I'm it's just so many more people, like, and just like when I started driving the bus, right? And I will never forget, and it made me feel so like I was so honored, because I came to work, and I believe it was Hurricane Sandy. I believe it was Hurricane Sandy, and I came to work, and I had never in my life seen the Atlantic Ocean look so angry. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Because we live right there.
Yeah, well, and listen, I'm working out in Queens, and the general the general superintendent of the depot, he said, "Listen, I got to take you off your route today." And he asked me, he said, "Do you know how to drive an MCI?" I said, "Yeah, my father Gene, I drive anything." You know what I'm saying? And Regina, I had to go and see. This is what I'm saying, right? When it comes to Hurricane Sandy, they talk about the firemen. Look, but listen, let me tell you, right? That captain, I had about 40 firemen on my bus.
Mm.
And the captain was sitting in the seat. For those that don't know Far Rockaway is like a peninsula, right? And when I looked over, and the captain looked over with me, and I'm talking about, you can see the earth was angry.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, but it looked like it's like 6 o'clock in December.
Mm-hmm.
6 p.m.
Right,
And
right.
that captain told me, he said, "Listen, we in your hands, man. If if that ocean come up, you got to get us out of here." And I was like, "Yo, like what a responsibility, man."
Exactly. But but
But
but when you did it, how proud you was of yourself.
yeah, but the thing is that the common worker, that's, like I said, the people in the background is not mentioned.
Right.
When they talk about Hurricane Sandy, they don't say nothing about, bus drivers or sanitation, or even delivery people. They say law enforcement, fire department. But I actually had about 40 firemen on my bus.
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there real quick because when you went into the Doe Fund, and I was so proud of you, because remember, Terrence Moose, one of your last things that you did to me, you took my truck, my Ford Explorer, and you left it in Duncan Projects.
I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I used it, and I got stuck. That's what I'm telling
Okay,
you.
all right. So you had my truck with all my stuff in there, and you left it in.
I didn't leave it. I'm telling you, I didn't leave it.
Well, Pee
I wasn't.
Wee had Pee Wee had to get my truck.
No, okay, but that's not what happened.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what because I was so mad at you, but you left and you went to New York. You disappeared.
yeah, but we talking about careers.
listen to me.
Go ahead.
And you went in the dough fund. And I was so proud of you because you owned up to yourself. And like you said, when you went in the dough fund, it helped you manifest into being the man that you knew you was. And I used to tell everybody about the dough fund. Yeah, my brother in the dough fund. Man, they helped him. He's striving, he doing good. Like my brother. And I was just so proud of you because whatever negatives was happening, you took it and you made it into a positive for yourself. So the dough fund, you were the catalyst for it. But the dough fund was there to help you catapult yourself. And, you know, I knew that you was going to do something big for yourself. And that big thing was getting that job at MTA. That was for you.
Well, the thing is this, right? Like I stated earlier, right? If you don't make wise decisions when you're younger, you understand what I'm saying? Life has a way of making decisions for you. You know, I wanted to play sports.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know, I didn't care about school and things like that. That was you and Randy thing. You know, I just wanted to play sports. But the thing is that I didn't I being a bum wasn't in the plans.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? But
right.
through my own life experience, right? Um, I was heading down that path, and I just couldn't see myself being that. You know, I just couldn't see myself being that, man. So I had to make life altering decisions. You know, and like I said earlier, you either get busy living or you get busy dying.
Mm,
You know, it becomes a time in one's life where you got to grow up and be an adult. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Is the decisions that we all make, you know, those are our decisions.
right.
You know, those are our decisions. Can't cry about it, you know, can't cry about it. And a lot of people, including me, right, get help when we don't even know that the help is helping us. But for some
Yeah,
reason, we think that we do everything on our own.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We think that we do everything on our own, and then we become so indignant and so cocky that we forget about the people that actually helped us.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
And then we want to say I. You know, well, first and foremost, and I'm only speaking for me because God has spoke to me. You know, and God asked me, "What you going to do now?" And it wasn't about me leaving your truck or anything like that. You know, it's about me being a stupid person, making stupid decisions my entire life. You understand what I'm saying? Up until that point, you
Okay.
know, it's about me not being a grown man, I should say. And when
Mm-hmm.
the time presented itself, because I didn't know how many more chances that I was going to get at life. You know what I'm saying? And I said, look, enough. You know,
I'm going to jump in real quick and say this. Even though I was, me and Randy, as you say, were the book people, and we wanted that education. When life has a way of showing you a different direction, um, So sometimes the path you think is your path, it's not your path. Like I said, I wanted to be a scientist, but that wasn't the road I that wasn't in my book of life. You understand what I'm saying? That was something that I dreamed, but it was not a manifestation. My
Can I ask you a
manifestation
question?
is
Go
for
ahead.
me to be a businesswoman and help teach others. You know, um and it's not arrogance or cockiness to say that I'm some super business person, I'm a billionaire. No, 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 that's not what I'm saying. Because we learn from each other. Everybody is always constantly learning. When you stop breathing is the day you stop learning. But for me, I know through my life experience, through me seeing like our mother, she tried her hand at small business. This woman was a seamstress. Uh, she would make food, cook meals for people. I wish, and I got to get with Selena. I wish I had her recipe for her pound cake because everybody used to call her to make them a pound cake, and she always was trying to be creative and do business to it's called sustainability. But that's my drive now. I'm all about teaching, I'm all about being in business, and I live my life, my work life, my career path choices in a professional way. Because I know the first thing people see when they see me and other black women is this. Oh, they so angry. Oh, why are black women always angry? I'm not angry. I am a businesswoman and I expect professionalism. And no matter what career, like when you was driving that bus, you was professional. You always carried yourself in a professional manner. You tried not to come out of your character. You followed the rules and regulations of that business, of that company. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's what it is. You
Yeah,
know,
but you
go ahead.
yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I did that job very well, because like I said, at the end of the day, I come from work.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what it was, what I was doing in the street, whatever, I always tried to have a job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not what I'm saying is that I'm not afraid to work. But you said something, about you being a you wanted to be a scientist, and I wanted to play sports and things like that. But see, I look at it like this, right? I believe you could have been a scientist. I don't see I don't believe how I used to believe growing
Mm-hmm.
up. And like you said, I'm gonna save that, but I just want to touch on this, right? Right. It's kind of like I don't believe in destiny. Like I don't believe driving the bus was my destiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe helping people could be my destiny, right? But I believe that my actions that I did to myself led me not to play sports.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Sports was there, you know. I'm the
It,
one, I'm the one that made choices that led me away from the football field, from the
mm-hmm.
baseball field. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that did that. So
Right.
I don't want to, because they say I hear oh, this is my destiny, well, what about the people? I mean, do you think people destiny was for them to be a prostitute, or you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Them to be, I don't think that was they, I mean, it happened, but most what I'm trying to say is most of us bring destruction on ourselves. Most of us. You know what I'm saying? Some people are thrust into bad situations, but for the most part, especially somebody like me, right? I bring bad stuff to myself because I want to do things my way.
Mhm.
That's just like, working for the MTA, right? They say drive the bus this way. I'm not going to drive the bus that way. I'm going to drive the bus the way I want to drive it. But then when you get reprimanded for it, now it's everybody else's fault except
Well,
yours.
right, right. Because
Because you
I mean, I've had some incidents when I was in law enforcement. I miss Big Shot. I knew everything until you taken down the peg or two, and
yeah,
and and the rules are in place for a reason, and it's not
reason.
meant for you to break it and interpret it your way. It's there to govern how things are done in a safe, effective, law-abiding manner. I could just see myself in my uniform, you know, and some things I wish I could go back and correct.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
some injustices, but I will say this: when I saw those things happening, I spoke up on some, and others I removed myself from that situation because I could tell you that one of my first observations of injustice was when I was a rookie, brand new, like I was green. And I begged my clerk, please don't put me with this person. Like I can't do this. And they knew, like, my clerk was good. He knew what I was talking about. Um and eventually he moved me. But so those things I wish I could go back and change. But I have to say, over my career, I know I made a positive impact. Um, you are not going to be well liked by everybody, but when somebody say to you, "Thank you," you feel it from their heart. When somebody say, "Because of you, I turned my life around because you had that conversation with me and you helped me to understand what I needed to do, and therefore I sat down and had a battle with myself." That's what's rewarding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I definitely can identify with that because like I said, I think it was '09 when we had a real, it was one of them, it was a heavy blizzard, right? And I was somewhere in Queens. I was we call it deadhead. We call it deadhead. It simply means you're empty, right?
Mm,
And I'm talking about, we might have had about 7 inches of snow. And I saw this family, right? I saw this family, and it it was a white family, right? And I just couldn't see them walking stranded like that.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And all that snow. And when I picked them up and I took him as far as I could take him, and he was just so grateful for him and his family to be out that
Right.
bad weather because their car got snowed in or stuck or something like that. And he tried to give me money, everything. And I said, listen, sir, I said, the MTA policy is that I can't take your money.
Right.
You know, and you know, what I'm trying to say is that because you were talking about being fulfilled on your job, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that was one of the times where I was fulfilled. Like I felt I was doing the right thing. Well, I didn't feel I did do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I did the right thing. I helped somebody, and I didn't want nothing in return but the help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's some of the things I like we talked about, you know, earlier that we're missing. You know, um, I often hear the phrase chivalry is dead. You know, well, you know what? It's time for us to kind of bring certain things back because it starts and begins with us. I mean,
Yeah.
it starts and ends with us. You
Yeah.
know, is I was talking to a friend of mine, and you know, we like to blame the youth. You know, oh, the youth this, the youth that. You know, well, who is the youth parents? You know, who
That
is the
part.
youth parents? You know,
Yeah.
we are the parents, we are the grandparents, we are
Yeah.
the uncles, we
The
are the
great
aunts.
grandparent. I'm a great grandma.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when I'm just saying, people don't want to take responsibility.
Right.
We are the ones that's responsible for what these kids is doing.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
whether
And but I let me interrupt you real quick because we are responsible, Terrence Moose, but also when you know that you have done almost everything you can do, you know, everybody else got to take up the reign and stand like you did and
yeah, but
say,
that's
"Hey,
not that,
I'm going to be a man."
but that's a different situation. I'm talking about, yes, once people get to a certain point in life, they got to take responsibility for their own actions. What I'm saying is that um we played a part in the destruction of these people. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, you know, I hear people say so much. "Oh, it wasn't like that when I was young." I don't know where you grew up at, because it was exactly it was exactly like the only thing that's different from my point of view is that we had more respect for the for the um for the elderly, and
And
our parents and
what
stuff like
let me just jump in real quick.
that.
We had more respect and the elderly had respect too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Virginia. That's
Because
what I'm saying.
nowadays nobody has respect for nobody. And it amazes me how people talk to older people, seniors, people in wheelchairs. Get the F out the way. Uh just total disrespect. And it's like everybody lost their place. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have a place. All right. There are things, and I would tell people, even my husband, he'd be like, "Oh, give me a kiss," and he would try to kiss me in front of Auntie Dot, and I'm like, "Are you crazy? Like, don't ever do that. Like, that is disrespectful." No, no, Auntie was like, "No, baby, that's your husband." No, Auntie, mm-mm. It's about keeping certain things where it's supposed to be. My intimacy with my husband is not for your eyes.
Yeah,
Okay. So that's what I'm trying. Like, the I'm not saying my husband is disrespectful in any way, but I have that much respect for my mother's sisters that it's things I won't do or say in front of them. Okay. I would never say in front of them. Even my father brothers is not going to happen. But I know there are things that my grandchild, my children, your nieces and nephews and greats and all this, they might slip up and say in front of us. Maddie said she is so proud of you and all your accomplishments.
I see, but I see you, Maddie. I can't comment. I don't know why, but I can't.
Because
But I
it's on
see you.
Facebook Live.
And Maddie. I mean Teresa. You spell my name Terrance. It's two R's, sweetheart. Two R's.
But I just want to say this before we close out, because I always pay homage to my elders and my mother's sisters, my father brothers, um Aunt Beverly when she was here, our father's sister, but those that were in Jersey City. When I was promoted to detective, we don't have parents anymore, right? But Maddie came, Uncle James, Uncle Ed, Auntie Dot, Auntie Amma Joe, and Auntie Ernestine, and Jackie, our cousin Jackie. And it was so important for me to have them there when I got that gold badge. It just, because a lot of I saw our mother and father in these people. You understand what I'm saying? And I needed that strength to hold that badge and let them know that I did this not only for myself. This was an accomplishment for my parents as well. You get where I'm coming from?
Well, like I said, you and I, we didn't had so many conversation over the past months or whatever, and I mean, I'm happy um that for all your accomplishments, but what I've learned is that I learned how to live my dreams. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
doing
And
that now.
like no, like when you moved to Africa, right? And Travis called me, even Randy, but Travis, 'cause, a lot of people don't know, but he was the true crybaby of the family,
Yes.
And oh,
That was
I'm like,
my crybaby.
uh, what's wrong? Man, Regina moving to Africa, and man, she ain't got no business being over there. I said, yo, man, that's her dream, man. And he cursed. I can't say it on Facebook, but man, her dreams, man, man, she don't need to be there. But what I'm trying to say is that, it's important that we follow our dreams, especially at this age now, the age that we are now, right?
Mm.
And I guess that's why you and I is doing this, podcast slash channel. We just trying to do something for us,
Yeah.
and you was talking about being a businesswoman and running a business. See, you know what I learned? That you actually have to work harder with your own business than when
Yes.
you working with for someone.
Yep.
You know, because if your own business, like you have to do everything. That's like you and I with this channel. We gotta consult with one another. We even do research.
Right.
You know, I mean, but like if you was working for somebody, they do the research and they tell you what to say.
Right. They assign, they delegate everything to you.
Yeah, yeah. So but you have any closing statements you would like to make?
I just want to say this, right? Whatever you decide to do, you be the best at it. Today, you could be a doctor. Tomorrow, you could be a factory worker. The next day, you could write a book, but be the best at whatever it is you do. And always do everything with love for self. Don't worry about if somebody gonna like it, because that was one of my downfalls. I had to try to please everybody. So do it for self, and trust me, it will balance itself out.
Yeah, I would just like to say in closing, first and foremost, thank you everybody that tuned in and hit the like button. You know, I mean, we was up to 4 people. That's cool. And I appreciate,
Woohoo!
for real, I appreciate that. And you know, I'm just, like I always say, we are just having a conversation, and you guys are just happening to be listening. And I welcome anybody feedback. I by no means got life together. I want to help people. I also, and I want to be helped.
Right.
I want to learn. I want to learn. I want to learn. You know,
And it's never too late to learn.
yeah, and I hope that tonight's I will say conversation inspired someone to be the best that you can be. I'm the type of person. I'm not here to be pointing the fingers and telling you what you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? And all I know is that whatever you do, I just hope it's positive. I just hope
Yeah.
it's
For
positive.
you. For you.
Yeah,
For you.
yeah. Well, it could be for me, for you, whatever. But as long as it's positive and you feel comfortable with doing it, do it.
Yeah.
Don't. I will give you a suggestion about fear. Don't let fear get in the way of your achievements. Because listen, I wanted to do a podcast for maybe about 2 years, but the fear, or people ain't gonna like it, whatever. I'm pushed past the fear. Because check it out, I didn't just made some connections again, and hopefully I can start doing some. I can have a second career, a third career, I should say. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? I know right now things is not going sitting well with the mayor of New York City, but yesterday I was standing shoulder to shoulder with the mayor yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I see some things getting ready to start happening. You know, and whatever it's going to be, I'm strapping in for the journey. You know, I'm strapping in for the journey. So once again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. And I just want to say, just thank you, man. Thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
time. Yeah, thank you for taking time out your Sunday to see what we're talking about. Thank you.
Thank you. And y'all have a great rest of your night. Tune in. When is it? Tuesday?
Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, we're gonna have some more for you. We trying to get better at announcing what we're gonna talk about. So if you have questions, you could inbox either one of us. A lot of you guys have our numbers. My 551 still work. So you could reach out and just let us know, hey, like, why don't y'all talk about this? Jog our memory on some things. And we will be happy to accommodate. All right. So with that, you have a fantastic rest of your evening. Get rest. Get ready for your next work day, and I'll give it to you.
In closing, I just say, if you want to launch big ships, you have to go where the water is deep.
All right. Shimmy him a tap, everyone.
Take care.